Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Fins up, Miami Dolphin fans. I all hope you had a great Thanksgiving Day weekend, that you guys didn't eat too much. I know I did. I did eat too much. But overall, it was a pretty good week of football. Thanksgiving games were a little lackluster. No even AFC team to root against, but the Black Friday game was a great victory for the Dolphins. Division win on the road. Yes, the Jets are not a very good team, but we did what we had to do. Unfortunately, we lost a couple of players due to injury. We'll get into more of that later. Yesterday's games, other than the Bills game, most of the games didn't go the Dolphins' way as far as we were hoping, as far as seeding and all of that good stuff. Oh, good morning, Adam. Back it up, Ben Cast podcast. Newfoundland, Adam, all you guys, welcome. Jay, welcome to the show. So yesterday really didn't go. The Bills looked really good yesterday, which is a little bit scary if they're getting on a roll, but they're off this coming week. Then they got Kansas City. We will see about that. But the Bills looked like a really good team yesterday, but the Eagles eked out that victory. The Chargers could have helped us last night. It's not like the Ravens were blowing them out, but they couldn't get out of their own way, and they couldn't help us. So we will see. We're definitely in control in the AFC East. So that's the main thing I'm looking at. But I would love to move up those seedings a little bit so you get the most home playoff games as possible before hitting the road. Number one seed may not be that realistic, but we can move up because the Jaguars have some tough games coming up. And actually, the Jaguars and Ravens in a few weeks have a game against each other. So there are hopes to move up. Yes, it is. It's still a victory Monday because we haven't played a game since. Let me close that shade a little bit there. But yeah, we haven't played a game since our Black Friday victory. So yes, hey, it's victory every day up until we play the Commanders at FedEx Field, a game that we have to win. The Bills are off. So if we do our business, take care of what we've been doing all year, beating the teams that we're supposed to beat, the Dolphins will be 3 full games up. Right now, we're 2.5 because the Bills have the same number of losses, but they have played that one extra game. So if we go up to FedEx Field and do our overnight delivery success and beat them in the daytime up there, of course. But, I have to say, when I have to positively get there, they say, send it by FedEx, but we positively must get that victory. Stay 3 games up on the Bills because they are looking like they're starting to find their groove a little bit. So let's just go take a business and the rest will take care of itself in the long run. Hey, RL, big good morning. And yes, Ray Finkel, like I was saying, it is good that the Bills lost yesterday. Would have been nice if the Raiders could have helped out or the Chargers could have helped out. The Texans and Jaguars game, that was like, be careful what you wish for because one of those teams could get hot. So I didn't even know really like if it was better for the Texans to get ahead and win that division. So because you just never know how that all rolls out. The greatest news is, and I'm going to bring up something that the Back It Up Ben's podcast, guys, make sure you check out his channel. I was going to touch on this topic too, but that 99-yard pick six return for a touchdown by the Dolphins end up costing the company TCL a lot of money, and they have to give away 84 98-inch TVs. That's a lot of TVs to give away, big TVs. I don't even know where I would put a 98-inch TV in my house if I had one, but it would be a good problem to have. I would figure out somewhere to put that sucker. So it must be a beautiful thing to watch games on it retails for like $12,000. Even though I checked on their site and they were having a black, it's still expensive. It's like a six, they took 50%. It's like a $6,000 TV. This 98, I mean, how many feet is 98? I'm bad at math, but whatever, like 8 feet or something. I mean, that's a huge TV. Where would that go? That'd be a fun problem to have. The Bills. Hey, Michael K. Welcome to the room. Welcome to the room. No, your Bills played a very good game yesterday, Michael K. But they lost in the end. But yes, they had a good game. I'll give you that much. Bills have a bye week. Mommy must win because I believe Buffalo will win versus the Chief at Arrowhead. Looks sloppy. Miami screw themselves in versus Kansas. They had that game. Yes, Jay, we do got to keep on handling our business. I do find that the Bills are kind of hitting their stride and they could be making it into the playoffs still. Even though right now they're currently outside the playoff picture, but okay, so 96 inches is 8 feet, and this was a 98-inch TV they were giving away. We're number one in offensive passing, number two in rushing, and number seven. The 49ers and Lions are the only ones top 10 in all those. The Cowboys and Chiefs top 10 offense and defense. I can always leave it up to hook up Joe to bring in the numbers when him and Scotty, they always know these numbers. The next tear down. No, I agree, hooked up Joe. This still, but sometimes the eyeball test you do worry about on some aspects of the Dolphins against the better teams. But some of that I think is up here in the Dolphins' heads. They try to prove too much that they can beat these teams, and they're just showing that they belong and going and beating those teams. They will get to that though. We got some winners on this team, winning DNA, and you will see hopefully that start rubbing off because going into the Ravens in a few weeks, that's going to be a very, very tough win. Hopefully the Ravens can suffer some losses before then, and we keep on winning, and we can really be in control. Let's see. Who wants to make the winless argument? Tua is better than. At the end of the day, I don't get into about comparing players to other teams. I just represent Tua. He's my Dolphins quarterback. Let's just keep it at that. You have Allen, root for him. I got Tua. I root for him because he wears the aqua and orange of the Miami Dolphins. And the end result is who has the better team at the end of the day. If we get to the playoffs and win some games, I'm a very happy camper on that front. I know in Denver, everyone's laughing at us for beating Denver. Now we've beaten a team with a winning record, and the team that we beat with that winning record is a team that we beat the highest. The Denver made out our offense number one. Our offense is really not number one. All right, Jay, but our offense is doing okay. They're doing what they have to do. Yes, the Denver game is going to skew anyone's numbers for sure on that front. But at the end of the day, they've been putting up at least 400 yards of offense. They finally getting some more points. I want points, not yards for sure. So there was a couple games that we got a lot of yards, but not enough points. So I'm with you on that, Jay. There's a lot of things to be fixed up, but it could be a lot worse, Jay, as a Miami Dolphins fan. We're 8-3, sitting atop the AFC East. What more could you ask for at this point in the season? So for that, I'm very, very happy with the how the team has been playing. So I understand. I understand, Jay. Believe me, I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop as a Miami Dolphin fan, but I am just excited to see this team. We were 8-3 last year, so I'm not buying my playoff tickets yet and dancing the Super Bowl dance. There's a lot of football to be played, but I don't feel like this team would do what the Dolphins did last year, lose 5 in a row at this point. So we will, I think, going to be okay at the end of the day. Go up there, FedEx Field, take care of business, get up a full 3 games on Buffalo, who is starting to play a lot better right now. And we shall see going into the final weeks of the season where we all stand. No, I agree. Gets a little tough at some games though because we still got the Ravens, still got the Bills, and we got the Cowboys. So it's not all soft, but the next couple weeks they definitely should win. They should beat the Commanders. They should beat the Jets and Tennessee. Then you got the Ravens and the Cowboys, and you got not necessarily all this order, but just the teams. And then I know for sure the Bills at the end of the week. This coming NFL week, there's not really any great games to help us out, probably, but we will see. We have actually done the hard part of our schedule, away games with the Eagles, Chiefs, and Bills. Yes, Joe. But then the skeptics will point out those are the games that we lost, which is true. We lost those. Some of it was beating ourselves, and some of it was just we got totally outplayed. The Chiefs game, we just beat ourselves just because the Chiefs didn't even play all that well, and we just, they only got 14. They only got 2 offensive touchdowns against us, and we shut them out in the second half. But we just never got in the flow, and that's bad. And let's see, and we fumbled the ball and stuff like this. Window closed on Josh Allen's fingers. Hey, there's a little fun banter going among the Dolphin fans and Bills fans, and I will never understand why so many Bills fans, not you, Michael K, because you're in here, but so many Bills fans have the Dolphins on their minds. You think they would just be happy they've won all these division championships, but yet Dolphins, they're always coming into our timeline talking trash. So I don't get it. Uh, Hey, Finn Sanity, a big welcome to you. Thank you for rolling into the room this morning. I don't know where Miss Fans was this morning. I must have missed her that she was not here. I hope she's all fine. Hey, G Man, and good morning to everyone. Going against Gallows, Baltimore offense is going to be tough. Even with wins, we will lose players with injuries. Well, I don't want to. I hope that's not true, but it is the NFL. This weekend is an expected weekend, just like our year. We have won what we expected to win, and vice versa. Yes, Joe, and that's what we have to continue to do. I don't mind that we're beating the teams that we're supposed to. That's what good teams do. They don't slip up against the teams that they're supposed to beat. They take care of their business and keep on going. And you just play on who's on your schedule. And this week, the Commanders are on our schedule. So that's the team that we have to beat this week. We don't have to worry about all the other teams doing what they do. If we just keep on winning, things are going to work out in the end. And yes, touching on the injuries, to me, the Jalen Phillips was a big bummer on that victory over the New York Jets. Armstead, I almost come to expect he's going to miss time from time to time, and now they're saying he's out indefinitely. So that's another big blow. But at least we got Lamb that has played well in his absence. So hopefully he continues to play well. Don't get me wrong, Armstead is much better. Much rather have Armstead. So that victory did cost us some healthy bodies, unfortunately. But we just, there's other teams that are banged up around the NFL too. You know, Cox on the Eagles last night, he got banged up. There are injuries starting to mount up across the league. You just got to bear with them at this point in the season. Yes, D man, it was a good win against the Jets, but I have no idea feel about the team. Maybe someone feels the same. They are 8-3, but something is missing. Yes, what's missing is the wins against the so-called good teams, and that we can rectify, and we will rectify if we make the playoffs and we win a playoff game because the teams in the playoffs in the AFC are definitely going to all have winning records at this point because it's tough out there in the AFC and teams are doing what they're supposed to do. It was ugly for the Ravens last night, but they eked out that win against the Chargers. Chiefs got down for a few seconds against the Raiders, but came storming back and punched the Raiders in the mouth. So, yes, it's going to be a struggle to have the top seed, but you can get off the 4th seed because right now the Dolphins are the 4th seed, which is the last seed of the division winners. But like I say, Jaguars has some tough games coming up. We have tough games coming up. Ravens has us and some other tough games coming up. Actually, the Jaguars and Ravens play each other at some point. over the next few weeks. So there's a lot of games in that facet. And I know the Jaguars, I think they have to play Cleveland still. Cleveland's not in, and I think it's in Cleveland, so that's not an easy game for the Jags. I know. I hope A Chan comes back too, and we will see on that front. Something tells me he'll probably miss this week, and then maybe try to save him up for that home, a couple of weeks on back at home. And the Jets, I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. Speaking of that, I see Aaron Rodgers is making the news rounds this morning, saying that he's going to come back by the Christmas Eve game or right around that scheduled date. So that would just have him missing our game. But honestly, behind that offensive line of the Jets, I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. He got Before he got hurt, he was getting hit on it. He only took like 3 or 4 snaps, and I think he got hit on every single play. So he's not the younger Aaron Rodgers that moves around as much as he used to do. So to me, Aaron Rodgers will not be their savior. I don't even see the reason other than his own egos showing the world that he could come back ahead of schedule. I understand that. But for the team aspect, if you're already out of it, why are you going to roll Aaron Rodgers out there? It's kind of weird, but hey. Hey, Aquavision, big fins up to you coming in here today to talk Miami Dolphins football. Mozart is having a great season. I don't want to forget about him. He is on pace to break some single season records for our Miami Dolphins. He could break the overall touchdown record. He could break the rushing single season record, and he's on pace to have 1,000 yards rushing, which is not a record or anything, but he's really kicking butt out there. He is number 2 on all NFL actually in rushing, so he's really kicking butt. I don't want to have to use him as much. Hopefully, Wilson looked pretty good against the Jets, I thought, and his average per carry showed it. He was out there balling. I liked it. So to me, that's a good sign. But yes, Achan, what started this whole conversation about running the football, he is a must-to-have back because he just changes that whole dynamic. It adds to what the Dolphins do best, having explosive plays from scrimmage, having chunk yards, and Achan feeds into that better than all of our other backs. I mean, as much as Mozart has his big runs, Achan just like takes it to that next level. Yep, I agree. The fact that we are number 2 in rushing with such a beat up O-line speaks volumes for our scheme and coaching. Well said, hooked up Joe on that front. I do believe this is a best coaching staff overall from Mike McDaniel down across the board that we've had for a long time. I know some people may picked on our special teams coach Crossman, but overall, I think M&R coverage has gotten better this year somewhat. I don't know if the stats would bear me out, but it doesn't seem like we're giving up as long as returns as we did last year when on the punt returns and stuff like that. So I do believe that our coaching staff is good. I don't know if we will get anyone poached this year. We will find out. Do it by the end of the 14th game. No way that clown. Why do you have to call him a clown? Mozart, of course, Mozart's not better than Zonka, Michael K. But he's not a clown either. Come on, Michael K. At least be fair. Mozart is having a good season, and he's really doing well out there for our Miami Dolphins. I know you're not a Miami Dolphin fan, but no clown calling of my Mr. Moser. You can say he's not as good as Zonka. I think everyone in this room will agree he's not as good as Larry Zonka. Larry Zonka's a Hall of Famer after all, and was on the perfect team. So no, he's not as good as Larry Zonka. I wish he was. Then we would really be a threat to reckon with. There you go. He isn't Zonka. I know that's true, G-Man. Sometimes though it's that we don't even try it, and maybe it's just because McDaniel knows that we do. But against the Jets, we finally ran on a short yardage play and got the first down. So that was a beautiful thing to see. So hopefully maybe he gets a little more confident in that. I know McDaniel is very big on analytics. So they're probably saying, oh, if you pass on this down, it's better than if you run on this down. And, he lives by those sheets sometimes. And then he goes with his gut on going on and fourth downs, but a lot of it's analytical driven. Yeah, he's faster, that's for sure. Moser's definitely faster. Newfoundland, 15 to 20 minutes. Oh man, that type he is. He's not that big. Yeah. Okay. What did Newfoundland? I must have missed what Newfoundland said. Oh, okay. Newfoundland had said A-Chan needs to add about, yeah, that's not really his style. I don't know if he can carry it and keep that speed and burst because, I mean, for his size, he's actually, I know he has a knee injury, so it looks like he's not durable or whatever, but that happens to everyone. He can hit you, man, and get extra yards. He's very tough for his size, pound for pound. He's a tough, tough guy, man. Yes, and I think maybe we will see that more. They've like held him in reserve a lot because there was like reports that he could have come back a lot sooner than we initially brought him back. Then we held him out another game that they said he could have played. So they know our reputation, those guys' reputations of getting banged up. He could be just holding back Jeff Wilson till the pennant run stretch here coming up. I know that's a little baseball talk, but we got the stretch coming up where we're just going to have to stay up ahead of the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. So where we may be saving some of those power ups and be ready to roll. And that's why I don't think they're rushing Achan back. They tried to bring him back a little too soon, I guess, against the Raiders, bit them in the butt. Then this week they didn't even try to play him on a short turnaround. So it'd be interesting now that we had that's like a mini bye because we haven't played since Friday and then we don't play until Sunday. So we're gonna have to see what they do with A-Chan at that point, or did they just save him for the two home games after that? Have him in the friendly confines of Hard Rock in warmer weather, because supposedly the weather's not going to be that nice. I know we're still a few days out, but it's going to be cool and rainy up in Landover, Maryland during our visit up there. And right at 1 o'clock is like the highest time for rain chance I noticed. So Tua may get to try to answer some critics, and he played in a wet, cold environment. Let's see. Tua erase one more stereotype that they have against a young man. It would be good to go out and see him put up big numbers in a cold, wet environment. And then they will probably change the goalpost. Well, it wasn't against a good team. So, but we'll see on that front. Yeah, I know he needs to play. Believe me, I think everyone in this room knows he needs to play, but I don't know if they're doing it because they brought him back against the Raiders and then they took him right out after he came hobbling out of the game. And, and then we haven't seen him since then. And I don't know if they say it in the coaching staff because I wonder sometimes if they're like, well, we're going to beat the Jets anyway. Why play A-Chan? They would never admit it. Because the coach, we could be playing an 0-14 team, and a coach would slice them up like they're the greatest teams ever step on the gridiron, and that how coaches talk. But behind closed doors, when the cameras are off and they're talking about, hey, how about A-Chan for this week? Well, do we really need him against the Jets? I think there's probably some of that banter among coaches and running back coach and the head coach and the offensive coordinator, and they're like, oh, we probably don't need him against the Jets. We're probably going to be able to get by and win this game without him. So they would never admit that, but I just wonder if there's some of that banter going on behind closed doors when it comes to like sitting players that maybe they could have played, but they're like, we probably got this game anyway, so let's just rest them one more week and get ready for the stretch run. We aren't moving away from the zone to power run. Don't understand that take at all. I don't know who G-Man had said we need to develop power running game. We most likely are going to be on the road in the cold in the playoffs. Well, I think you can still run it powerfully, but in the zone. You can still play hard nosed football, take it up the gaps, run it hard, and still stretch the defense at the same time. I do agree you got to be able to run the football. But yeah, if you want like the 1972 Miami Dolphins, Zonka, a few yards in a cloud of dust and just pound a team into submission, no, you're not going to get that from this Miami Dolphins 2023 edition. But can you do enough running to open up the rest of the offense? Most definitely. Can you do enough running to win football games? Most definitely, with how this team is stacked up. They can get it done. We should get Robert Hunt back. He dressed this past game, but they did not decide to play him. I mean, with all the injuries, I thought they may have to bring Justin from digging in the trenches in the game, or Scotty or Joe. I thought one of you guys might be lining up on the field because Austin Jackson got kicked out. Armstead was out. Lester Cotton at one point was in the tent. I was like, oh my goodness, man, who are they? And somehow Hunt didn't even get into the rotation that day. So it's crazy, man. No, I mean, Moser is very, I think we kind of overlook Moser with all the other stars we have on this team. Yep. And the man is really doing his job for us. Do I wish sometimes he might put the ball on the ground as much as he has this year? But at the same time, I guess when you get as many touches, you're bound to fumble at times. But I do wish he would do a little bit better job of holding on to the ball. But the man is putting up touchdowns at a record rate for the Miami Dolphins for us. So how can you complain about that? And he's been a really solid back for us. Wilson is a good power runner right now. Mozart and Wilson can get it done. I agree, but HN definitely adds that other element to us. And I don't know what we're going to eventually hear about Chris Brooks. We only got 2 moves remaining. So I don't know if they want to keep a couple of those moves in their pocket in case someone else goes down. That's just like going to be a few weeks on that front. And then we will see on how that goes for, keeping those moves and that active. And that will be definitely good to see. Our beat up O-line with no cohesion that makes it hard to power run it. Keeping the other team off balance with runs up the middle and play action is still key. Yes, that's what I was saying. Still keep them active, keep them honest, keep them guessing that we could do some of that running game and take control of the line of scrimmage. I mean, let's face it, we controlled the line of scrimmage against them in the tough New York Jets defense, and that was a good thing to see. We had, I think, 150 yards rushing, had passing yards. We did well. Tua, please turn down those interceptions. They're going to kill us at some point. Some of that maybe on the play calling, Mike McDaniel said, but Tua still got to make those throws and not make interceptions. I mean, if the play call is not the best, it's up to Tua to avoid those interceptions. That's the one thing where he has to clean up his game, hitting down the stretch of the closing out of the season here. He has to clean up the turnover bug. We can't be turning the ball 3 times every week, turning the ball over on offense 3 times every week, giving teams, we give them too many pick sixes. We can't be doing that. And guys, like I said, again, if you're just joining in, that 99-yard interception return cost TCL like $1 million in TV giveaways because the contest that week called for any play 98 yards or more. They would give away 84 of their 98-inch TVs, which they retail at $12,000. But I checked on their site and they're having a black sign for a great bargain at $6,000. And no, I'm not anything with TCL, but I was saying, geez, that's a big TV. Better figure out who's taking Phillips snaps. Kennedy changes the D-line now. This is true. Van Ginkel and Ogball are going to have to step up. I know they had looked at Barnett this week, not saying he would be an immediate fix or anything, but they had kicked the tires on him. According to Barry Jackson, he had been a first-round pick of the Eagles. So I don't know if they have any more interest. I didn't check the Dolphin news this morning. I was looking at schedule stuff more, going over the coming week schedule to see how the seeding might stack up on what teams ahead of us. Like Kansas City, they go to Green Bay this week. It's possible Green Bay could give Kansas City a tough game. Is it likely? No, but it's possible. But we need them to lose a couple since we had control against Kansas City and blew that game. I've been listening about team sloppiness. That's McDaniel and his country club approach. I don't know, man. Some of it's on Tua too, though, man. Some of it, it's at the end of the day, Tua needs to know not to throw a floater out there on the throwing a sideline pass, and he didn't put any zip on that one pass. The one that was he attended right before the Hail Mary, that was just a good defensive play. The guy snatched it from Hill. That's just football. That's a good defensive play. But the one that was for the pick six, I guess he never saw the guy, obviously, because he just kind of floated it out there like gift wrapping a pick six. I saw that coming right away. I'm like, oh, here he comes. And, it's all about that. Hey, Ogba needs to step up. That is true. He did have 1.5 sack against the Jets. Yes, some of it was in garbage time when they knew the Jets had the pass, but Ogba did step up and get 1.5 sacks in that game. And yes, Evan, we know you love yourself some Jason Sanders, or I should say, love, parentheses there, quotation marks. Hey, I was convinced that the Bills were going to win, but you thought it was going to be a blowout. I was at least right that it was going to be a close game, is what I said. I said it was going to be a very close game, and it turned out to be a very close game that went into overtime, and both teams had their chance. Both bad passes. First one was behind his target. Yeah, no, they were both bad passes, but at least the other one that, he kind of took it from Tyreek, and it was at least the first one was really just bad and led to that. Hey, but the second one actually led to the Hail Mary, reverse Hail Mary, Hail Mary, whatever you want to call it. It led to Javon Holland getting his 99-yard. Of course, you can't bank on that. That's not a recipe that you want to keep on doing. Yes, Justin Herbert, I don't know what's going on because the man has a lot of talent, but he just is not getting it done for the most part. That's right. I know some plays he didn't have any time to throw, and we would have been given Tua the benefit of the doubt if, Tua was getting blown up like that and saying, well, no one can do it if you don't block. But still, at some time, the blame has to fall on Herbert. That's just a mess out there in the Chargers land. I mean, they got talent on that team. That coach is going to be gone, I would assume, maybe today. Maybe I already missed it. They've already got rid of him. Yeah. Hey, I know. I can't believe that Eagles kicker Elliott made that kick. That was good, man. That was good. Yep, the Chargers are the Chargers. That's for sure. Leonard working Shaquille Leonard heading to work out for Dallas. I know he was at the game yesterday up there for Indianapolis. But yeah, I could see that. I know he's a name out there to get, but we will see on that front. Supposedly the Dolphins didn't have really much. They didn't have much of a take in on him, is what Barry Jackson said. That was he find it very highly unlikely that the Dolphins would kick the tires on him. So, and then they went and kicked the tires on Barnett. Haven't seen any more since then. Oh no, the Chargers definitely. I thought they would win. I actually thought they were going to win at the end, and I thought Herbert would show that he can get it done, and he just didn't. Yeah, heard Dallas and Philly interested in him, and it makes sense. He's a good player still. Those are two contending teams. You would figure he wouldn't even waste his time going and getting all banged up for teams that aren't contending since he's cleared waivers and he's free to sign with every team he so chooses. He's a free agent at this point. So he can pick a team that he thinks has the best chance to go on and win it all. Hey, that's what I would do if I'm a veteran that's been out there slamming around, have a chance to go out there and earn a ring. Go pick the team that you think would get you there. And hey, I don't hold that against anyone. The team, let's see, this team will go as far as the offense line takes them. If they fall apart, this season is toast. You're 100% right. The offensive line is what we've always pounded the table on as Dolphin fans. I mean, at draft time, most of us wanted either a really good blocking tight end or an offensive lineman with our first pick in the second round. We end up taking a defensive back who he did make an appearance against the Jets. There was actually a Cam Smith sighting in that game. So maybe he will finally start stepping up and playing a little bit, but that was all in garbage time when the game was well decided at that point. But we all went into offensive lineman. They didn't give us an offensive lineman for the first few picks. We didn't take offensive lineman until like the seventh round. But lo and behold, the offensive line has played, I think, above all of our expectations up to this point. Whether you want to credit Butch Berry, you want to credit Mike McDaniel's scheme, or just players improving, because Austin Jackson against the pass is playing at a great level, protecting Tua's blind side. So that's been great to see. Lamb has stepped up, like I said, when Armstead goes out. Carter Williams has played well. Hunt should be back in there. So we should be. And Eichenberg actually didn't even play that bad this past week. And you know what? On another topic, I didn't even know he had a brother playing. I don't follow college football as much until like rivalry week. Saw him playing in the Michigan game. He's on Ohio State. And I'm like, holy. So I said, hey, is this Eichenberg related to Liam Eichenberg? Sure enough, it's his little brother. And he's a linebacker for Ohio State. So I didn't even know that. So see, I think I try to follow all my things Dolphin, and I did not even know Liam Eichenberg had a brother out there playing in the NFL. A friend of mine who lives in Durham, North Carolina, says a Jet fan in Walmart on Friday said he wished him good luck, and he replied that his team stinks and they will never win. Hey, you know what? At least he realized. Any of you guys see that Jet fan tear down the Miami Dolphin fan saying, "Oh, there was a flag flying in up there at MetLife, and he took it down." Not to mention that the fan left at halftime, and he's saying he's the most diehard Jet fan ever. But he left at halftime, ripped the Dolphin flag down that was like near the light pole. He said, "This is disrespectful." I'm like, has he been to South Florida? Has he come to Hard Rock Stadium when the Jets come to town? It's like a sea of green down some of the tents and stuff there. I'm like, come on, because he was saying like he was trying to say Jet fans, it's just like Dolphin fans coming there and they just are rude and put their flags up. I'm like, oh, come to South Florida when the Dolphins and Jet plays, buddy, and USC Jet green everywhere. Um, we will see. Can't wait till we draft to a brother. Hey, I heard he passed some passing record or something this week up in Maryland. I don't know what he did, but I just happened to hear something in passing. Let's see. Yeah, it's true though. The Jets, he was right, man. The Jets are really bad this year. I mean, they are bad. And this was a team that a lot of people were saying had the chance to get to the Super Bowl the minute they signed Aaron Rodgers. Granted, Aaron Rodgers got hurt within the first few plays, but I'm telling you, even if a healthy Aaron Rodgers, I don't see the Jets team. I don't think they were that serious. I don't think a healthy Aaron Rodgers would have stayed a healthy Aaron Rodgers for long anyway, even if he hadn't gotten hurt on that first play. That team can't protect. He's not as mobile as he used to be. So on that end, I mean, I don't know. I know Jet fans are going to say, "Well, if we would have had Aaron Rodgers all year, we probably would have won the division." I'm not so sure about that take. I really am not, because I don't know how much Aaron Rodgers would they have been better? Yes, I'm not going to be stupid enough to say they wouldn't be better with a healthy Aaron Rodgers. But would they be division leading better? I don't think so. Let's see. Hey, guy, I don't know what. Let's see. I haven't done squat in either life. Listen, it's hard to rag on Jet fan when the Dolphins haven't done squat either in my life. Oh, that's cool. Okay, Justin says Tua's brother can play, but I don't know. Then he says not on that field, and I don't know who he's talking about or what I said. Yes, I agree. The MetLife has caused way too many injuries, but they asked Mike McDaniel about it, and Mike McDaniel said if he finds out there's evidence that yes, this field has caused more injuries than others, then he'd be knocking over tables and everything like that. But he says from what he hears right now, and he doesn't have that evidence, So he basically not going to comment, but he let you know where he stands. Like he doesn't like it, but he wants to see evidence that says more injuries happen on that field at a higher rate than any other field. So we will see on that front. So the guy, no injuries happen anywhere, but to me, that field turf is rough, man, and then it's tough. And then when you get two home teams that play on that turf, it means like every week there's action going on in that field in the NFL. So it's brutal for sure. Yeah, yeah, okay, I got you. Thank you. So Rogers, yeah, not on that field. I know you said that. I mean, when they drafted him. So I mean, drafted him when they signed him. You said you did point out that they go, why are they signing him on that field? He's not going to make the season. And you even said made sure to say you didn't wish that upon anyone, but you thought that that was tough. I don't think you predicted he would go out within 3 plays, but hey, who would have? No coach would get 2 minutes of time on his wardrobe. Yeah, I know. I don't know why they. That's the media. They love his wardrobe. I don't care if he wore whatever out there, man. Whatever. He could wear a bathing suit and a tank top as long as our team's winning. I don't care if he looks fancy clothes with his little jogger pants, whatever they call that style. I'm way behind the loops or whatever. The guy said, "Oh, capri." My wife said, "Those aren't capris," but whatever. I know they're short pants that don't go all the way down. What the heck do I know? But so I think she said they're joggers. So he can wear his fancy joggers, his fancy Nikes, whatever he wants to wear. If we win, we win, and that's all that matters to me. So I'll be a little Justin like there, where I don't. He doesn't care about records. I don't care about wardrobes. G-Man, do you think Phillips is done? Something is wrong. I'm not certain if Phil has anything to do with it. Knee injuries different altogether. Is what Newfoundland comes in with. Oh, guys, I'm the worst promoter in the history of YouTube. But if you get a chance, nail that like button, which I call the fins up button. It's free and it helps the channel grow. Trying to get to that 500. And when we do get to 500, I will be doing a giveaway. Haven't determined what I'll be giving away, but it will be something cool. So trying to get to that big 500. So if you know anyone that loves the Dolphins, I know you guys already hit me up. I appreciate it. You're already my teammates here. So that's awesome. But yes, let's see. No, okay. So yeah, he's saying no, it's not career ending. Phillips will be back. Yeah, but he probably won't be back till I don't know if he'll be back by the start of next year. So it'll probably be a few games into because we're already because it's basically a calendar year, they're saying most of the time on these Achilles or close to it. And that's why everyone's saying they don't really know if Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles if he comes back already. And we will see on that front if he really comes back by his December date that he's saying or not. But I know it made Dan Marino miss uh basically the season back in the day. He did come back though by the opening day the next year and beat New England Patriots at a game I was at. So that game stands out to me because it was most everyone was so happy to have Dan the Marino back. He was never quite the same after that, but he still put up good numbers for a few seasons. But I mean, he was never super mobile, but even some of his movements in the pocket changed after that. So I don't know. We will see. And Aaron Rodgers is older than Dan Marino. Yes, modern technology, modern medicine has changed. Maybe if Aaron Rodgers comes back, then I'm going to say, well, the Phillips should have been sent to Aaron Rodgers' doctor. That's what I would say if Aaron Rodgers comes back that bad. Nah, no, I don't have any Zephyr Hills. I wish I did have that connection. But speaking of that, as a lead in, if any of you guys going to do some shopping for your loved ones or buy your own dolphin gear or whatever, do it via the links on my website or the Fanatics link on here, and you pay nothing extra. Use all their discount codes, and the channel makes a little bit of a commission, which helps. So that'd be great, guys. So thank you, Evan, for that lead in. Yes, sports medicine has come, and medicine in general has come a long way. I'm a living example of it. Had a double lung transplant a couple of years ago when I was working as a cop. looking all, I thought it was like a heart attack. My lieutenant comes over and said, man, you're looking all gray. You're looking bad. Yada, yada, yada. It was December 9th, 2020. It was the last day I ever worked, and it was crazy. But someone else had to have their demise because of me, but they were going to go anyway. I got a double lung transplant. So I'm a walking example and that was all from the great teamwork at UF Shands up in Gainesville. My son happened to go to the University of Florida, so I've become a late life Gator fan. I mean, oh, they stink, but that's for another day. That's for another story. But yes, medicine's come a long way. Several years ago, before they were doing all this stuff, I'm going to be here talking about the Miami Dolphins. So I appreciate modern medicine. It is a great thing. So he should be able to come back hopefully sooner than later. I mean, he's out this year. Hopefully by the start of next year, maybe. I would have to go back and look at what point in the season Dan Marino had lost his, due to Achilles, and then he came back by the start of the next, by the next season. He was there game one. So I will go and see. Let's see. Phillips was putting together a good year. He'll be back at some point next season with his guy. Yes. Oh, yeah. He would definitely be back at some point. I just don't know. Hopefully, it probably won't be the beginning of the season, but we will see because we're already here late November when that injury happened. So hopefully, he comes back towards the beginning of next year at some point. The man is the one of the hardest worker. You could see the man. He came in ready to play. Scotty was predicting his 15 for 15, and I was really up there with him. He finished with 6.5 sacks. He would have definitely, at the rate he was going, would have got to the double digit. Maybe not quite up to the 15 for 15, Scotty, but he could have pushed it because he was just starting to hit his groove. That's why it's really a shame. He was really, really starting to hit. I mean, like I said, against the Raiders, man, 2 sacks, an interception. In this game, he was balling, and then just that injury happened, and it stinks. Thank you, Justin. Thank you very much. I appreciate all you guys. Do you pay Waddle or Phillips? Oh, if you can only pay one, oh, that's a good question. That could be almost a whole other show because it really depends what you say is harder to find. Are you harder to find an edge guy that can get to the quarterback? Then you sign Phillips. But if you think you can have a game-changing receiver, Tyreek Hill's career will be winding down, but because Tyreek Hill is on record saying he only wants to play 10 years, then you sign Waddle. Or maybe it will come at a point where you can get them both in because after next year, the money gets a little bit better. Next year is tough on the salary cap for sure. We won't be extending them at that point. Yes, that's why I would love both at some point, but we shall see because we got a lot of players to take care of before then. And Kristen Wilkins' money is going up by the game because they had said his tackles aren't as high as they were sometimes, but his what they told him, oh, but you don't have the sacks. That's a knock. I don't know what the team how they negotiate, but fans are saying, but he doesn't get the sacks, so he doesn't get that 20 something million. But now this year he's gone out there and he's got the sacks more than he ever has before. And the man hustles in the Raiders game, man. Renfro, the receiver, was zigzagging through our whole team like the team didn't want to tackle him. Our defensive tackle runs all the way downfield and tackles the man. So me, how many defensive tackles in the NFL runs all the way down the field and makes a tackle down the field? The man never gives up on a play. So big kudos to Mr. Kristen Wilkins on just always being out there like that, doing your thing. It's an amazing stuff. And I can't say more kudos to you. No, I agree. He said sign him and get the injury discount. Let's see. You could get Phillips. Yeah, you could probably get him cheaper right now because he knows that injury. I mean, that is true. Yeah, you got to sign Holland. You're gonna have to make the decision on Tua. Got to make a whole bunch of decisions. They got Tua under the 5th-year option next year, but if they sign him to an extension, it could actually lower the cap number for next year, but screw it up more for the future years. So I don't know if they're going to have him play out the whole 5th-year option before they decide on what to do with Tua. But we got a lot of players that we got Connor Williams and Austin Jackson, Robert Hunt, all these guys. You don't want to lose that. They finally get an offensive line that can play decent together. I would rather, if I had to choose between Connor Williams and a couple of the guys on the offensive line, or giving all the money to Kristen Wilkins, I would go with the offensive line as much as I just praise and say how great Kristen Wilkins is. But if it comes down to a financial thing where you can only keep the offensive line intact or keep Kristen Wilkins, I say try to keep that offensive line intact. Go draft yourself a defensive lineman. You got a first round pick this year. Sometimes they slide a little bit the interior defensive lineman unless they're like an Aaron Donald or someone like that. So, let's just see what you can do. Hey, good morning, Dolph Van Don. Big fins up to you. Thank you for stopping by this morning. I don't know about letting Connor Williams go, man. It's like, you know how long it's been since we keep on saying, get a center, get a center. We finally got a guy that can play center. We will see. And the Dolphins have a history of not dropping off. Yes, Austin Jackson finally in the final year of his contract is coming into his own. Some of that is due to injury. Some of it's just time to develop those offensive linemen. But do you really want to start all over on the offensive linemen again? We will see. We will see. And can you find some bargains out there? Poach other teams' practice squad, as Justin loves to do. Or is anyone sitting out there, a veteran free agent looking for chasing a ring or being on a good team? Maybe someone comes like that on the cheap. But to me, it's been so long. We've been complaining about how we haven't had an offensive line for years, and you finally get one that kind of performs like pretty well, and then you let them go. I don't know. It's kind of tough. I know it is, man. AJ signed, but when you sign all these guys, eventually someone's going to have to go. Someone's going to have to go, and I don't know if it's going to end up being Kristen Wilkins. I don't know if they can create enough cap space to put a franchise tag on Kristen Wilkins before the franchise tag date. I know they can move on from Ogba, and that frees up a lot of money. I think if they do a post June 1 designation on Xavier and Howard, but that's not until June 1st. So that's not free agent money you can spend until that post June 1st. So unless you can tell people, hey, we got the money, but you got to wait till June 1st. And, but most of those people just want to get their money and run. So we will see on that front. But I don't think I'm not saying they will move on from Xavier and Howard, but there's not too many ways to free up. Ogba is the most glaring one that they'll probably get rid of just because of the contract. Now, if he balls out this year and goes and replaces, and plays lights out the rest of the way, who knows? But I still see them probably moving on from him just because of the cap hit he would sustain next year. Yes, I know. A real center that can snap the ball. I understand, but he has been one of the highest rated centers in the NFL. They don't take that snap thing, I guess, into account. So yes, you're right on that front, G-Man. But he has played well, and he has been the anchor of our offensive line. They definitely do better when he's manning the center position. But if you draft a true center and you can get him and keep him at guard, hey, more power to you. But we definitely need that interior because it's been so long. Because we're stuck with Armstead for better or for worse. The man's a baller when he's out there. He always tries to go. He always wants to play, but he always ends up finding a way to get hurt, which is part of the football business. Unfortunately, you're a 300 plus pound man on a large frame playing a violent sport, moving all kinds of way, trying to protect your quarterback, backpedaling with another huge man and quick man trying to beat you to a pulp or get around you. It's not easy. So I understand why he gets hurt, but he has a big, huge contract that it's not easy to walk away with, not even this year. So we will see. All snaps are blamed on Tua and Connor grade very high at center. Yes, I know they normally go after the quarterback. That's the thing. But he is a good center, though. I mean, To me, he's good. I'd rather have a center that blocks well overall. And they've cleaned it up a little bit, but yeah, every game there's always like one snap that, and sometimes it's just the cadence or something because sometimes Tua almost looks like surprised by the ball, and Connor maybe snaps it really hard, like he's snapping it all the way back to a punter. But sometimes Tua almost seems like surprised by the ball. You see him like this, like, oh my God, the ball is like right in my, it's just so it happens though, unfortunately. They need to clean that junk up. Yes, Armstead being out is just hurts. Hey, I think we can all agree with that, Justin. We all want the Dolphins to win a ring. Just go out there, Dolphins, and win it for our fans. We may not get a ring, but we will feel like the fun of winning our Dolphins, knowing that they're getting a ring and that they will be holding the Lombardi trophy. Way overdue for my South Florida team and all of you guys all over the nation that roots for the team here in South Florida. It's a beautiful thing to see our team go out and win. It's been way too long. Like I say, December 30th, 2000 is the last time we won a playoff game. As you know, I've said it a million times on here. My 21-year-old son wasn't even on the planet back then. 21 freaking years old now, and no playoff win in all that time as a Miami Dolphin fan is horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. It's just no excuse, Miami, to not come up with a playoff win in that stretch. So this week, week 13, of course, our Miami Dolphins are at the Commanders. And then, but as far as seeding and other games, I don't know. Because Kansas City's I'm just looking for seeding. I'm assuming Miami stays in control of their own division. So you got Kansas City at Green Bay. You got the Bengals. If they had Joe Burrow, I would be a little more hopeful. They got Bengals at Jaguars on Monday Night Football. So maybe the Bengals can pull a game and surprise, but they did not look very good against Pittsburgh yesterday. And then who else is that's really it because the Ravens are off this coming week. So you don't even have, and the Bills are off this week. So, but that's it as far as that. So no Ravens. Kansas City and Jaguars are the only two division players playing next week. Bengals at Jaguars. And maybe the Packers can pull some Lambeau Field magic. It is in Lambeau Field. Maybe they could knock Kansas City down a notch. I wouldn't count it. But hey, Green Bay did go into Detroit on Turkey Day, Thanksgiving, and beat the Lions. And once again, the Lions did not look that great on Thanksgiving. Maybe that's a tradition they want to give up on, saying, maybe we don't need to play Thanksgiving every year. So, but what's funny, when I was younger, the Lions would stink all year and then play well on Thanksgiving Day. They would just have that one game a year that they play well. Now it's like the opposite. Now they just stink. I think they've lost seven, and they've been a decent team the past couple of years, and they find a way to lose on Thanksgiving. So that is true. In the we revert from passing on third and short, if we run, we can win. Yes, I agree. Definitely mix it up more on that front, Justin. I think Chris Brooks is going to have an impact down the stretch. He's built for late season football. This is true, G-Man, but keep in mind, we only got 2 moves to use the rest of the season to bring back. We've used up 6 of our allotted 8 moves. So they may keep that move in their back pocket until later in the season to make sure no one else, because if someone else goes hurt and they're saying, oh, he could come back after 4 weeks, like one of our star players, and they say, oh, he could definitely come back, but you don't want him on the roster for 4 weeks when he can't play and you can have an able body playing. So I think they may be keeping that move in their back pocket for that situation. I haven't seen when his window is going to open for Chris Brooks, but by the last couple of weeks of the season, maybe by the playoffs, maybe. Because he does play. Yes, they can be brought back during the playoffs. You get that. as long as you got the moves. If you used up all 8, no. But if you have the moves, from what I understand, yes, you can bring them back, including into the playoffs. That's why some teams like to keep those injured reserve spot moves open, so you can bring someone back for the playoffs if need be. From what I've understand from the past, if anyone else can clarify the record better, but from my understanding of the rules, as long as you don't use your 8 moves, yes, you can move those moves in the playoffs and bring your player back to the active roster. So we will see on that front, though, if anyone else knows anything else. Let's see. Let's see. What did G Man think? He said McDaniel needs to change his philosophy, Justin. And Justin agreed, digging in the trenches, agreed with him. But his philosophy overall, I think, is sound. But yes, on the third and shorts, I would like to see run the ball more. And they ran the ball a lot against the Jets. They still went away from it on the third and shorts, but then they finally did it, and that's when they actually converted the third and short. Is when they actually ran the ball. I don't know if it's just. I think some of it's analytics, but sometimes you have to throw analytics out and just say what's working right now, and the running the rock what's working. So why not go to it? And I do believe it was Jeff Wilson that got that carry. McDaniel tries to kill an ant from a machine gun when he can just step on it. Look at G-Man coming up with good, uh, whatever analogies, whatever those terms are called, whatever. Good saying. There you go. That's a good saying. I like it, G-Man. I like it. And I understand when you got Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle, there's toys that you want to play. I understand. I understand. But yes, sometimes as a coach, you got to say, okay, I got other toys behind that back in the backfield too. And I got a offensive line that's been blocking better this year. Why not let's just pound it up there and see what you got? Because if it's 3rd and 1, pound it on 3rd and 1. And if you don't get it, pound it again. If you can't get 1 yard in 2 plays, then say la vie. It wasn't meant to be. And that's the game of football. So you should be able to do it. We obviously are never going to be the Jalen Hurts touch push, not in our DNA, not with the style of play that we do, not with the quarterback that we have. So we're never going to be quarterback sneaking like that. They're almost guaranteed almost every 4th and 1 or 3rd and 1 they're going to get the first down. We don't have that, so we do have to come up with good solid blocking up front, create holes for our running back, and win in that down. Let's see. I think McDaniel, to make McDaniel look good, once he's a bit arrogant. Yeah, but a lot of people that get in those spots are probably a bit arrogant. It takes a lot to get to the NFL head coaching, but you're right. There's probably some arrogance there that he wants to prove he can do it with the passing plays and do his best for the 2023 Miami Dolphins, Justin. But yes, G-Man, yes, he needs to do what's best for the 2023 Miami Dolphins. And I agree on that front too. Guys, I just looked at the time. Once again, you guys make time fly. I can't believe it. You guys are so much fun as teammates coming into the room all the time and giving me those big thumbs up. I love it because it's really all a big fins up because we're all teammates here at Dolphins Thirsty. I will welcome any of you guys ever if you want to host a show. My man Justin's always out there hustling and bustling. But I'm trying to get him back. We would try to figure out a way to get him back on the show more often. I would try to work around his schedule because it's always fun to have more people in here. And I would drop links in the future. I was going to drop a link today, see if Hooked Up Joe or someone wanted to come into the show. But hey, it's been a pleasure. Guys, and you know what to do on the way out. Bop that fins up. I know it's a thumbs up on here. I won't be on tomorrow night. I'll be on another network. I do Fins Talk Sports Network on Tuesday nights. I'll be back here Wednesday morning and the rest of the mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, including Sunday morning when I will have the pregame show to figure out the Commanders game and what the Dolphins need to do in that game. But the good thing is, guys, Dolphins are number one in the AFC East. 2.5 games. If the Dolphins win this week when the Bills are off, our schedule will finally even up and we will have a 3-game lead going into the final stretch of the season. If we get a 3-game lead and we blow it, that'll be an all-time epic proportion failure for the Miami Dolphins in my book. That'd be like a collapse of ultimate collapses. So just go do business. Let's win some games this December. As I always steal the Lexus line, give us a December to remember, Dolphins. A positive December to remember. Let me add that because you always give us a December to remember with not winning. Give us a December to remember that we're actually boasting about our Dolphins and not worrying about what other teams are doing when we have to say, aha, your team lost. I just want my team to win. I don't care what the Bills do. I don't care what the Jets do. I don't want this. I don't care about that. Go out there and win Miami. That's what I want. Because if you go take care of your own business, it doesn't matter what the other teams do. That's what good teams do. You think the Patriots, when they were dominating the division every single year, were worrying about? No, they just went out and they just took business. You think Kansas City Warriors? No, they go out there and they take care of business. That's what we need to do. Just go take care of our own business. The other things will fall into place. And that will be great. Yes, as fans, it's great to see the Bills lose. And it's great to see, maybe if the Ravens could get knocked off by a team we're not expecting. But overall, go take care of your own business. Those are what good teams do. You think the Dolphins, Don Shula coach teams worried? No, they just went out there, control their own destiny, win your own damn division. And that falls all takes in. Win your own darn games. Let's see. Yes. You need to run the clock. Yeah, run the rock. I'm sorry, I can't read. Versus the Redskins. And yes, I still call them the Redskins. Technically, it's the Commanders or the Washington football team or whatever they're going to change their name to again. Rumors are that the new owners want to change the name once again. They should just call themselves, the team that changes their name every couple years now. That would be their nickname. So we will see. Hey, guys, man, you guys could get so many good points. It's hard to leave. It's hard to leave, but I'm going to have to leave here because you guys are making it so much fun. I almost don't want to leave, but here we go. Guys, thank you. And if you haven't done so already, bop, 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 bop. You know what to do with those thumbs up. Always try to get to that 20 mark. Sometimes I get it. Sometimes I'm way short. But you guys always make it a fun show. And with no further ado, Dolphins number 1, 2.5 games above the Buffalo Bills. What more can you ask for? December is coming down, staring us in the face. It's time to get serious, Dolphins. Fins up, Dolphins number 1.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins thirsty.